page 2, we've had several discussions about heights in Pioneer Square. And at the last meeting, there were 2 proposals put forward, one by Councilmember Clark, one by Councilmember Bagshaw. Those are drawn up and mapped here. So the top of the page, Councilmember Clark's. The blue outlines are DPD's proposed heights. So all of the changes, which are proposed changes, which are shown in yellow and red, are within the area that DPD has proposed a maximum height of 120 feet. And so for Councilmember Clark, the proposal is that north of Yesler, within that area, sort of north of Yesler, south of James, the maximum height be 150 feet. The zone there would be 100/100-150. That first number means the non-residential base is 100. After the slash means the residential base is also 100, and then the maximum height would be 150. And then south of Yesler, in the area shown in red there, the maximum height would be 130 under Councilmember Clark's proposal. On the bottom half of the page, under Councilmember Bagshaw's proposal, north of Yesler, it's the same, 150 feet. South of Yesler, there are 2 differences. One, the red area would go to 140 feet maximum, not 130 feet. And the western boundary of that area has been pulled a half a block further east to be the alley between Occidental and 2nd Avenue South. It means that the parking lots that are shown in the sort of a tan-colored cross-hatching would stay in the 120-foot height under Councilmember Bagshaw's proposal.
So I guess we agree on the yellow.
The yellow, and I wanted to bring up one other thing that you did talk about some was design and upper-level design. What is in the bill now requires that in an area, I've got some packets here, so maybe you can, 1, 2, 3, 4 for council members. Here's some for the public. You can share. So in the bill now, there is a requirement for an upper-level setback. So if you start with the first page that you have, on this map, in Area C, the bill would say that if a structure exceeds 100 feet in height, all portions that exceed 100 feet need to be set back 15 feet from the property line. And that is waivable by the board. So what that really does is gives the Pioneer Square Preservation Board a chance to look at the design, and maybe that 15-foot setback at 100 feet isn't the best option for design, and they can negotiate something different, but it gives them a starting point. On the next 2 pages, I took the Councilmember Clark and the Councilmember Bagshaw maps, and I put in that black dashed line where that Area C is. So you can see what portions of the Clark area and what portions of the Bagshaw area would have that requirement of 15-foot setback above 100 feet. I think one of the most notable things that I saw was that the sinking ship garage site is not within that Area C, and so there would not be a required setback. So that's one thing that you could consider changing. And so the last sheet, we were just doing this before the meeting, so the last sheet in your packet, the dimensions might not be exactly right. DPD did a quick measure of what would a 15-foot setback look like on the sinking ship garage site. It might be that the yellow line, which is a 15-foot setback, would be in a little bit more. I don't know if you want to say more about what your measurements show.
So we just drew 15 feet from the property line, which is the red line, and probably the 15 feet, that line is the white line represents where that setback location would be. It's probably on the inside of that white line. So we wanted to just take a look at what the effect of a setback applied to the sinking ship garage would be.
So that could be like a jogging track for residents on the
Right.
floor.
Yeah.
So is there enough space there that somebody could actually build something that would pencil financially?
We were trying to combining our math abilities while we were waiting to come up here, and if our calculations are correct, the triangle itself is about 235 feet on one side and 131 on the other, so it's about 15,500 square feet. The way we calculated the setback area, that was a little over 8,000 square feet of that lot area, so you'd have something in the neighborhood of 8,000 left over. Doesn't seem to jive exactly with what, just the way you look at this diagram, if that entire setback area accounts for half of the parcel area. But you would have a buildable floor plate size. It'd be small, but it's something that would allow for development of those upper floors.
And I'm sorry, so the setback would be at what level? 100 feet?
100.
At 100 feet.
So it would be those upper,
The
Three floors.
upper 4 stories or whatever, if you went to 150.
So the effect of the setback, we think, would reduce the lot coverage by about 45%
Really?
above 100 feet.
Could you set it back from just one side? I mean, if one of the concerns is sort of view corridor through or ability to see more of the Smith Tower, I wonder if you could only set it back from just the Yesler side or something like that.
But this would be open to exemption to the design
Yes,
board, just
right.
like
So
the other one, too.
waivable
Yeah,
So,
by the Pioneer
Yep.
Square Preservation Board.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the question
Which,
about whether
which-
pencils is to,
I would say that which the Pioneer Square Preservation Board does not support any of these height increases that are being debated by the committee at this time. But they've been clear about that, but, yeah.
So I had a couple questions.
Yeah.
On